Hello everybody, it is Captain Marty Brill. I'm a retired captain. I don't really fish anymore, but I play one on the radio and in the podcast. I think that's important. But I paid my dues, made a lot of great friends, had a lot of great memories during my offshore fishing career, and I rely on them every day to give us fishing report and fishing information. So I got some stuff to talk about, scrappy in some areas, really good in others. I'll be right back in just a moment.
Let's be real. No one wants to deal with nasty varmints like mice, roaches, creepy crawlies, and critters. Leave that work to the experts at Outer Banks Pest Control. Outer Banks Pest Control is the best on the beach when it comes to eradicating those unwanted creatures. They've been in business for over 25 years with well over 100 years of combined exterminating experience. Specializing in both commercial and residential properties, Outer Banks Pest Control has all the tools and equipment necessary to take on any pesky job. They pride themselves on top quality customer service and workmanship. Hey, if it ain't red and yellow, it's just some coattail riding fella. Outer Banks Pest Control, the best on the beach with a proven track record of excellence since the year 2000 and online at outerbanks-pestcontrol.com.
Hi, I'm Captain Jay Cudworth of the Kokomo with Paradise Dolphin Cruises at Safe Harbor Marina in Wanchese. I want to invite you to take a ride out on the Roanoke Sound to see the majestic bottlenose dolphins up close. As a native, I'll be telling you stories from these waters as a boy growing up in Wanchese. Nature and history have combined to make this area unique, and I love sharing this special place with special people. So come on aboard with me and my crew and experience the real beauty of the Outer Banks. For more information, go online to ParadiseDolphinCruises.com. Again, this is Captain Jay. I look forward to seeing you soon.
So all the offshore stuff is centered around this great bill fishing that we're having. And it's not just blue marlins, it's not just sailfish, and it's not even just white marlin, it's all of the above. Some great catches. Hatter's fleet yesterday, though, focused on the meat fishing, really good meat fishing for them, a combination of dolphin or mahi, which are mostly the bailers, the smaller 3 to 8 pounders. And they had a couple of gaffers. I saw one that looked like it'd go about 40 pounds. Lots of blackfin tuna. That's kind of a given most days. Really, they got a certain place they like to go where they hang out. They get that out of the way, and then they go looking for billfish or mahi or wahoo or whatever they can find. Inshore fishing for both hatters and Oregon, it's challenging. They're catching some puppy drum, and they're catching some bluefish, a few Spanish. The Oregon Inlet offshore fleet, I talked to my old buddy, Captain Brenner Parks, on the smoker out of the Oregon Inlet Fishing Center yesterday evening. He called it pretty darn good fishing. There was some mahi, dolphin. There was a few tuna, but they were quality tuna. And then there was a very good billfish bite. There was at least 2 grand slams caught. Several people had 2 blue marlin with a sail or a white kicker, but a grand slam is a blue, a white, and a sail, and that's a hard thing to do. And I mean, just a couple days ago we had boats with double figures in sailfish, so it's pretty darn good bill fishing right now. What else we got? Inshore for Oregon Inlet, as I mentioned, pretty scrappy. On the right day, they can catch some triggers or sea bass on the bottom. Bluefish and Spanish mackerel are very hit and miss, and it just depends on the day. So we won't waste any more time talking about that. Well, let's move on to the surf. And keep in mind, yesterday, Cape Point was closed to pedestrian and vehicle traffic for a while. I don't know what it is today, but if you go that way, make sure you know what the rules are for today. There were some seagull chicks of some kind that were not fully fledged. So that's typically what will close the beach down, or sea turtle hatching out will do the same thing. Just check with the National Park Service to find out what is available and where you can go. What else we got? Oh, a 5-pound pompano at ramp 55. That's a heck of a good catch. But mostly it's pretty slow. Piers and surf both are just picking out. Spanish is the main thing. The bluefish and the sea mullet are secondary, and they were pretty good a week ago, but even that has slowed down some. But at Cape Point, right by the jetties, they had a good bite on some fat Spanish mackerel yesterday. And everyone else is just picking away at small bluefish and croakers, and it's just a pick. It's all it is. So we We don't want to make it a Chamber of Commerce report if you put in your time. And if you fish early, several of the tackle shops are reminding people that you need really fresh bait, not yesterday's bait, not last week's bait, not frozen bait. Sand fleas you dig out of the surf are best, or some of these fresh local shrimp, really good. And you don't need to overcast. You need to cast right in the wash, up close to the beach. And the earlier you can do that in the morning, the better your chances are. So we'll take a little break right here, and I'll come back and talk to you a little bit about the backcountry.
Set sail for an unforgettable Outer Banks adventure with Aficionado Charters. Perfect for families, beginners, and seasoned anglers alike, their experienced crew makes every trip fun and exciting. With top-tier fishing gear and advanced safety technology, you'll head offshore in search of incredible catches like tuna, mahi-mahi, sailfish, and the oh-so-coveted marlin. As one of the longest operating charter boats on the East Coast, they know where the fish are biting. Plan your next adventure today at aficionadocharters.com and get ready to reel in the fun.
So the drum bite, the puppy drum bite has improved a little bit in the sound. Some of it from boats, some of it from waders. Some big drum more to the middle of the sound and over to the estuaries on the western side. There's also a few tarpon being caught, although you're not liable to get a whole lot of information on that. Even though they're spread over a large area, the sound, if you could drain all the water out of the sound and see all the tarpon that would be laying there, you'd probably blow your mind. But anyway, that's a great fish to catch, isn't it, in the sound? Sheephead bite had waned a little bit over the last couple of weeks, but now some of the boat fishermen, they're getting out to markers. And when I say markers, I mean channel markers, three-legged light beacons, just anything you can find with structure, are catching a few sheephead. There's been a few on the Oregon Inlet, down on Oregon Inlet, of course. You know, you can catch some on the bridge down there, but even that bite has slowed down. There still, though, is these oyster reefs where they put out the stuff to get oysters. If you can get those locations, that's a great place to go and look for a sheephead. But really, it's pretty darn picky back in the sound. I don't know any other way to say it. There are some days when there's a little bit of a bite going on, and it will get better, but right now it's pretty scrappy. So that's all I have for you in today's report as we hit midweek in full stride, and we're getting some much needed rain in the evenings, which I'm very, very thankful for. So don't go out and hold a fishing rod in your hand when there's a approaching squall. A couple people have said, I saw this week, if you can hear thunder, you're close enough to be hit by lightning. If you're standing on the water with a fishing rod, be careful. My parents really instilled in me a healthy respect for lightning. And I carried that. Last night I was sitting in my house, and we had a direct hit on a light pole, utility pole, right on the highway, right in front of my house. And it brought back memories of being offshore, coming in on a charter boat with metal outriggers up in the air and all kinds of things to attract electricity. We used to disconnect the radio, disconnect everything we could, and like most captains, sooner or later, if you don't get a direct hit, you get a bounce where it hits the water 100 yards away and arcs over to your boat. The boats are grounded, so the electricity goes through the boat and into the water, but a lot of times it does a lot of damage to things in its path on the boat. So please be careful. Don't take chances. Have a great day fishing on the Outer Banks, and let the good Lord bless you richly.